This is the incredible Greek island of Chios. So I was just looking back at my footage and realized I filmed a whole lot already today, and so I'm going to split this into 2 videos, but it will start a ways back. I didn't make a proper introduction, so just wanted to say that this is a 2-part series exploring the island of Chios. There is so much to see here. This is, as you can see, an abandoned, falling apart village in the middle of the island, but the sea is right over the hill up here. Let's get up there and take a look. So if you want to see part 1, in which I started in the main town of Chios and then showed various places near there, then check the link down below. But you don't need to watch that one to enjoy this one. Okay. Whoa, look at that view. Oh man. Out there, the Aegean Sea, and a big drop. All right, here we go. A tour of Chios Island. So I'm sure that many of you will have heard about the fires here on Chios Island earlier in the summer. Here we're seeing evidence of them, and also I saw something else that I will be very curious to try to get to, except that it's probably not smart to try it. Okay, there it is. We have the remains of something. Look at that old rock wall. That is something very, very old. And it actually doesn't look that hard to get to it. Okay, yes, let's do it. Gotta turn the car off first though. So as it turns out, the burned out part is actually going to be a lot easier to get through because the bushes have been removed. This right here is the precarious part. Oh boy, actually looks kind of treacherous. Yeah, I need to go over there, down through the burn. And so here is where it looks like it actually gets a lot easier to get through. I am looking forward to the view over this hill, or rather the next hill. Okay. How old is that thing? That is not looking like some sort of few hundred years old vineyard thing. Look at that. Whoa. I guess part of an aqueduct? My best guess, just off the top of my head, and seeing the style of construction, is something Byzantine. Although, I guess it could be Ottoman as well, which would be more recent. I wonder if this is on the map. I didn't check. But that is really quite an amazing historical monument there. Look at that thing. Nice. Okay, aqueduct makes no sense because it's in a gulch. The water, whichever way it was going, would end up stopping there. So that can't be what it is. It must be just an archway into something. I don't know, but that is pretty remarkable for just being hidden away down here. I think I won't bother trying to get through there. Just enjoy this view here. So, we're just getting started with the drive. As you can see, pretty big mountain there. We are going up into the middle of the island, probably past that mountain, but around it to the left. And here you can see lots more burned area. So this is the village of Carries. I might just do a drive-by. Nice restaurant there. Classic old crumbling town with lots of cats. Notice it isn't the classic blue and white. That is more associated with the Cyclades Islands. Santorini, Mykonos, Chios, Folegandros, Milos. I'm not actually sure which island group this would be considered. Maybe North Aegean? And so one thing I have to say is I am enjoying driving an automatic. Especially for the filming, it's so much easier, but just for the, driving experience in general, it is just so much less hassle not having to shift gears. My old car back in the US was a stick shift, and so I'm very used to it, but yeah, it is a nice change. So typical, 19th century probably buildings. Whoa. Just past a local resident. Hello. Nah. How's it going today? I hope the flies aren't too annoying. All right, hang in there. Stay cool. Have a good one. And another one. What about humanoids? All right, let's continue on to something that should be quite a lot more interesting. Actually, I see the big cathedral up ahead. Gotta take a look at that. Okay, am I getting myself into a sticky situation again? Whoa, that is a fairly new looking church there. And look at that view. Incredible. And arriving at a monastery. Going to park right here. So I don't know what to expect if anybody else is going to be here, but maybe not. No other cars. There is another more amazing monastery apparently down the road. Okay, what is that down there? Very, very windy up here. And it looks like the church is closed. Not surprised at 2:30 in the afternoon, unless... Very peaceful place, though. But let's go check out the other monastery, and then there is something else that I am a lot more excited to see. So it looks like this whole area was affected by the fires as well. Although maybe it was just bushes before. But here we go, the Neomoni Monastery, and it looks quite impressive. Looks like it was spared from the fires. These trees remain. Maybe they had a lot of people here fighting it or something. This definitely seems to be a much older monastery, but unfortunately, I guess I'm out of luck. Somebody's here. 2 other cars. So my guess would be that this must go back to the Byzantine era, because it wouldn't have been built during the Ottoman era, such a big monastery like this. And also, of course, the style here is looking quite old and very Byzantine style. And so that would make it at least 600-700 years old, probably quite a bit older than that. Hey guys. So a shame that I'm here at the wrong time, but it is a little bit inconvenient, and yet my own dang fault that I like to explore in the afternoons, and afternoons are when many Greek places shut down, like 1 in the afternoon until 6 or 7. But at least we can see these old ruins here. Quite impressive. Okay, this is definitely a different era from the other ones. Looks like it's being used as a barn now, but was it originally a residence? Hello? Hey? Hello? Whoa. Very cool. It's cooler in here. Not very pleasant as it is now, very dusty. Very little light, but if it was all cleaned up, carpeted, then you could imagine it could be a decent place to live, and that is how you keep it cooler, is keep the light out. What do we got here? Okay, so a definite living space here. So it's quite possible this could have been the living level and then the animal barn downstairs. So maybe that was always intended to be for the animals. Look at that. That'd be crazy if water came out. There we go. It turns, but so Sink, fireplace, shelving. Oh, we even got electricity. And then another room. Hello. So bedrooms. Toilets, modern style. Look at that bathtub. It's teeny tiny. Sink. So yeah, we have all of the elements of a proper home at one time, before it was all neglected and destroyed. Not exactly a bug screen, but keep the birds and big bugs on or whatever. All right, quite interesting. And so a much older looking building here. So what was this? And more buildings here, and a little bridge over what could be a stream in the winter. Wow. And this is a really interesting looking building here. Hello. Hello. Whoa. Hello. It has really heated up now that the sun is fully out. In the middle of August, it would be just really unpleasantly hot. Okay, bed, fireplace. All right, well, definitely a shame to not be able to actually get inside the monastery, but this was certainly an interesting stop nonetheless. Now, the best is yet to come by the looks of it. So here are the hours: 8 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. So I'm right there in the middle of the close period, about 2:30. So we can see the sea that way. Looks like we're going up and over the top of a saddle. Will we see the sea again on the other side? I would imagine so. There you go. So the island is good size, but the thin ways, it's really not that wide. Okay, so is that it? I'm not certain, but I think it must be. I hope to heck it's open. I think it might just be open all the time. If that is it. It looks very, very interesting. So it is not what I'm shooting for. It's Anavatos is where I'm trying to get to. That is 4 kilometers this way. So this is something else. What is it? A living town? Or some other ruins? Let's definitely check it out. And so this is Avgonima. Welcome to Avgonima. Looks like there are places to stay here and restaurants. Welcome to Avgonima Village, a village of central Chios The name of the village refers to the local poor, non-fertile fields. It is very old, probably pre-medieval. Geronimo Justiniani described the village as a well-protected castle. According to the legend, it had been destroyed by pirates. A windless beach of exquisite natural beauty on the west of the village has revealed findings of the Roman era. Travelers have referred to the village as an area which is characterized by the scarcity of water. Avgonima is a good village, but has a flaw. By the time they bring the water, the pot has been burnt. Okay. So, an old village, but very well kept up. It is spotless. It's cleaner than Chios' main town. Wow. Obviously, a lot of work has been done here. Look at these very nice marble steps. But so quiet. I mean, it isn't peak season, but it's just outside of peak season. I saw 2 people there. There are a few cars around that are probably local residents or employees of the restaurants. Families, rooms. There you go if you want to stay in Avgonima. There's the phone number. So probably in the evenings it gets a bit more lively when people come for dinner. What a super cute village. It is so peaceful. A few cats around, of course. Here is a map of the island. Chios town. We are here. Avgonima and Avatos is where I'm going next. Where I'm staying is Emporio, which I think is right there in the south. So drove up here to the Homer Stone and then across, and then we'll drive down. There is much to see here. All these villages, Mesta, Olympoi, Pergi, these are all ones that I came across as really nice villages, which I may very well skip today and save for tomorrow's exploring when I'm based down there. So there is a lot to see on this island, and then there's the whole north, which I'm not sure if I will get up there, but looks like it's packed with places to see. And here the main square. Gyros. Tzatziki. Steaks. I'm really impressed by the restoration of this village. I mean, if it was destroyed by pirates, hundreds of years ago, then it must have been in really bad shape. What a great place to have dinner. But by dinner time, I'm going to be too far away. And it stays nice and cool, this breeze blowing through. And there, the Aegean Sea. Another restaurant down there. All right, let's head to the next ancient village, which I think is going to be in a very different state from this one. Holy crap, look at this, guys. I assume that must be it. It looks absolutely phenomenal. I didn't realize it would be all sprawled across the top of a hill like that. Whoa, it looks like one of the coolest destroyed villages ever. Boom. That is insane. Unbelievable. All right. Hiking route Lithi Beach to Agias Mata. You are here, Anavatos. So tons of hiking trails all over the island. Okay, let's get into it. I think this is the church. And it looks like there has been restoration here as well. Oh yeah, nice restaurant. Okay. 1882. Really interesting carving there. An angel with a sword. Everything locked today. Anavatos. Wow. Really fascinating. This is a nice one. Really in varying states. Parts of it probably not fixed up at all, and then others broken. Look at this cool stove, comfort stove. Okay, just a little room here. Not sure what that would be for. Such ultimate exploring here. So I believe that this was actually the village where the massacre happened. So I mentioned that earlier in the day in what turned out to be part one, because I filmed so much today that I'm going to have to split this into 2 videos. But there was a huge massacre by the Ottomans of the local Greek population in the thousands, and I believe that it happened here. Very tragic. The Ottomans were really brutal. All right, let's get to the top and see the views. It's just such a stunning location for a village all across this hill here. And look at this view, although you've already seen it at the beginning. Let's get up on top, up there. Oh man, that is amazing. Oh, there's a whole other section of it. There, gotta check that out. So one thing that I thought that I would mention here while wrapping things up in this old village is that in my last video on Madeira Island, then I showed that I was driving around in a van, and people remarked, well, why didn't you just sleep in the van? Because I was mentioning how expensive everything was. 122 euros, $143 for one day for the van, and then rooms in Funchal, the capital city, were 170 bucks, and then I got a room for 84, I think it was. Still not cheap, but yes, I could have saved some money sleeping in the van, but no way in hell was I going to do that. So first of all, there are no windows for the back of the van at all, so it would be absolute pitch dark in there. Secondly, I don't know if it opens from the inside. So after I arrived and then rented the van, then I wanted to change from my pants into shorts. Okay, maybe we can't get there? Huh. There's got to be a way to get there. It's a whole neighborhood. Maybe it swirls around up there. Let's give that a try. But I had just rented the van. It was kind of a long walk back to the terminal to the bathrooms, and so I decided to change in the back of the van. And then, you know, for a second was going to close the door, and then was like, no. I don't know if it's going to be able to be opened from the inside. I mean, you would assume that it would be able to, but I didn't want to find out that it couldn't happen once I'm already stuck in there. So there's that. But even beyond those reasons, then I think that it wasn't a flat surface on the bottom. I didn't show it in a video, but I just threw my big backpack in the back there. Okay, looks like you get up there through here, which I should have accessed from down there. Let's see if I can get there from here. No. Okay. But whether or not it was flat or bumpy in the back, it was hard metal. I didn't have a mattress. I didn't have a pillow. All I had was my thin blanket. That would have been an absolutely miserable night sleeping in the back of that thing. Plus, of course, no bathroom, no shower. And I am not that broke. So I am fully open to the idea of doing proper van life sometime. I've never actually done it. I've slept in the back of pickups that I've had in the past, and I've taken naps in the back seat of my Honda CR-V in the afternoon while driving a long distance or whatever. And of course done tons of road trips, camping and staying in hotels, but I haven't done proper van life ever, sleeping in a van. Although, actually, that's not true. I did car life once, and that's a whole crazy story. Back in 1999, then I lived in a car for like 5 months and slept in it most of the time, in the back, a station wagon with a mattress in the back. So that's a whole story that I could tell in another video sometime. But so there was that. It was kind of more, I was just broke and homeless and had no choice at the time. But I've never done like a real van life, so that would certainly be a fun thing to do one of these days. Okay, great. I still can't really get down. But no, that was not the right time to save $85 and have a really miserable night. Huh. What is going on here? There's like a some sort of a thing to take lumber up there, I guess. And it looks like this part is closed. The entrance is not permitted until the completion of the works for security reasons. So that's what that is for, is they're bringing lumber up, working on reconstructing this area. So that is great. Once it's finished, I'm sure it will be really, really amazing. Wow. This island really has some truly incredible places to see, and we're just barely getting started. All right. Well, it is now after 3 in the afternoon. I have about an hour's drive to get to my hotel where I'm staying for the next 2 nights. It looks like there is tons to see along the way, but I am going to just plan to jet there. It has been a lot of filming and hiking around already, and now I have tons of editing, 2 videos from just today. So we'll try to get to the room and relax, get to work. Look at this amazing stonework here. I guess they filled in that window for some reason. A nice arch. Really skinny room. Huh, what was that for? Okay, and then like a second level. No idea what these were for, but anyways, I am really, really tired out. I think, for one thing, I'm talked out from all the stories and explaining and everything. So, time to hit the road and get down to the southern part of the island, perhaps make a stop or 2 along the way, and then I will show my room and the area where I'm staying. We are on the other side of the island, and there a watchtower in an ideal location looking out at the sea. Very intense mountains on this island. And an amazing looking beach out there. Also, I saw one the opposite direction from where I need to go. I think it's just a few miles away, so let's go take a look at that. I'm seeing tons of these watchtowers. One on the end of that little peninsula there. Another one straight out there. There's the other one I just saw. Alright, so I think I will just show the beach from up here. But it is a really nice one. Look at that. Very windy though. Road continues down there and then comes down, and looks like 2 people on it. I think it's rocky. And really getting blasted by the wind right now. So a very rocky little beach right there, but a nicer one out there. Just a couple of people on it, and again a tower there. And a great shot of the tower. We still got a ways to go to get to the southern part of the island. A little beach down there, more burned area here, but then not burned out there. That is Liffey Beach and Bay, and they're the town of Liffey. And so we are now on the southern side of the island, Taverna Artemis. Just a few minutes away from the area where I'm staying. Emporios. Something tower. Maybe I'll check that out tomorrow. Definitely done exploring for today. This is a nice looking area. Lots of trees, shaded, various scattered buildings. Sort of a town, but very quiet. Archaeological site of Emporio, okay. And then I saw something on top of that hill there, probably a church up there. Looks like where I'm staying is in a great location, right on this bay that looks much calmer than the other beaches on the other side of the island. Less windy here. Great restaurants. Wow, what a pleasant spot. Nice. And this is where I'm staying, right here. Ami Maya. Wow, what a pleasant surprise. A lot of the island is pretty ugly, really. It's prettier here. So this place is amazing. It seems brand new. A little studio apartment. Fridge. Sink. Little stove that I won't make use of. Nice comfy double bed. TV. Attached bathroom. Super clean and modern, all for just 56 euros. That is $67 US. Great deal. So there you go. Greece in the going into the lower season is super reasonably priced. So that is much better than some of the prices that I've been paying recently elsewhere. So anyways, that is it. I am totally exhausted. Time to take a break for the evening. Tomorrow, another day on Chios Island. See ya.